Welcome to the testing world. In this session, we are going to cover web service mocking. Mocking means we are going to develop dummy web services. So, whenever we are going to work on a real-time project, in many cases, you will find out web services are still in under development and we are not going to get in for next 1 or 2 months or few days. So, what should we do in that time? We don't have services, so we should wait for actual service to develop, or can we start working on developing the automation framework with the test cases, and when actual web service come to the testing, then we can execute our test cases on the real-time services. So aim over here is like, until unless we don't have the real-time services, we create some dummy services, use these dummy services for developing our test cases, test suites, framework, and once we get actual services, or we can say real-time services, we can execute our test cases on that. So these dummy services are called mock services. So the process will be like that. When we go to an application and my web service application is not ready, we are going to generate dummy services. We will create our test case, test suites, automation framework on these dummy services. And once we get the real-time service, we will start executing our test case on that. So to create the mock services, we have default option, default functionality in the SoapUI by which we can create these mock services or dummy services. So I'm moving to the SoapUI, and so before moving to the mock services, before creating mock services, prerequisite is just WSDL file. So I'm going to create a SOAP project, and here I'm giving the project name is Z country information, and that's my WSDL file. So a project will be created over here. I assume that all these services are not developed. It's just the WSDL file which is developed. WSDL file only hold the information about the services. I can assume that these WSDL file or the services document is created, but actual services are still under development. My server is not up as of now. So what we can do, we can generate mock services on that. To create mock service, we can go to the any of the service against which we want to create a mock service, right click and add to mock service. So here it asks what is the name you want to give for the mock service. I am giving the name dummy services. Here you can check a mock service will be created on the bottom side, and that's the response which this mock service is going to return. Here in the response, we can set any data, like that is dummy data. So I'm going to return this value whenever we will call this mock service. It's going to return this dummy data as a text, but when we come to the real-time application, we are going to get actual data from the server. So as of now, I have created one mock service. Now I want to use this mock service in our test case, but before using that, we should go to the mock service and we'll have to start this. So first of all, I'm going to start this mock service. Just click on that, and here we see it is executing on the port 8080. Now I want to create my test case on the behalf of this mock service. So come to the mock service, and here we have the option to create SOAP request. So I click on this. Okay. And here we see a request is created on the behalf of that. So now I'm going to create a test suite, suite 1, and inside that I'll create it as case. So case 1, and Now I'm going to add a test request REQ1. So I want to hit this get service. Just to verify, here it's showing the URL which is for actual service, but as of now I'm going to hit my mock service. So I'm giving the URL of my mock service. Everything is done. Want to run it, I execute this, and here we can see we are getting dummy data. So first test case or one step inside the test case is created on the behalf of that dummy data. We can make any number of validations which we are supposed to put on actual response. Like I'm going to make contains assertion, and we expect that in response we should get India. Even the service is going to fail as of now because we are getting that from the local server, from the dummy server, but in actual that response should be come. So as of now we have dummy service for one service only. If you want, you can click on this and you can create a mock service of all the available services. So I'm coming here and generate SOAP mock service. So by that way, we have both the options, like we can go to the each and every service and right click on that and add to the mock service, or we can go to these parent WSDL and we can add it to the mock service. So as of now, I'm adding all the services to the mock service. So here it shows this one. So either you can select specific service against which you want to create mock service, or you can keep it all. Other than that, by default, we have seen we are going to use 8080 port. We can set any of the port. So I'm setting the port 8088, whatever the port you want, and click on OK. Country SOAP mock service. So here we see country SOAP mock service is created, and I'm going to stop this removing because now I have a different mock service in which all the services are available. These are all the services. We can go to each and every response. So like these are all 10 services that we have, and I'm going to the response. In response, I want to return whatever the country code we are going to get against this service. We are going to return the country name or country code, that is IN. So get country by country code. So whatever the input I'm going to get, I'm always going to return India as of now, because this is a mock service. We are returning only one value from the mock service, but in actual service we are going to get different response. But this is the mock service. We have set only one output. Coming to my test suite, adding one test case. So step 2 and get country by country code. Step 2 is added. Again, we are going to hit the mock service, so URL is perfect, and I am giving the input AU, but in return we should get India because we are hitting the mock service, and mock service will return the data. As of now, one mistake we have done, like we are hitting this service but my mock service was not up and running. Even we can check it. This is the button. We can see mock service is not up and running. So whenever we are creating mock services, it's mandatory for us to up these mock services. I'm running it and it says like 8088 port is already in the use. What we can do if my port is already in the use? So first we need to check what is the port. So we have used the port 8088. I'm going to check on the command prompt netstat space -ano. So we can check my 8088 port. So that's my 8088 port, and it is consumed by the process with the PID 624. task manager, and here my ID is the 624, which is a SoapUI Pro, and I'm using that SoapUI Pro. So the problem is that if I'm going to kill it, it's going to close my SoapUI. So what we can do, if we want to close it, we can close it, but as of now my SoapUI is using that PID, and if I close it, my SoapUI is getting closed. Removing it, and whenever I create a mock service, so that's my mock service. Here I can give a different port. So I'm giving 8090. Click on OK, and my mock service will be created. Again, coming to this, get country by country code, and I'm going to return India. We have already covered that, INDIA. And coming to my test case, so that's my test case. 8090 was my port. I need to start mock service, so I'm going to the mock service. That's my start button, and here we can see my service started. As we know, SoapUI used Jetty server to deploy this mock service. If you want to see the Jetty logs, we can come over here, and whatever the issues or exceptions you are going to get, you will get it over here if you get any. I'm going to my test case. My first test case is, again, I'm going to use this URL. So copy this URL, and now I want to execute my test case. So let's see. It's going to the request is going, it's getting failed. The possible reason is we are expecting India in response, but we are not getting. And by default, if my test step is failed, rest of the steps will ignore. To set this, I'm going to my test case. We can go to the options and don't abort test if the error occur. So I have removed these checkboxes. Fail the test case. If the step is failed, that is fine, but don't abort it. Just running it again, and two steps. So one is getting passed because we did not set any assertion. So in this session, we have seen like how we can generate the mock service, how we can use this mock service in our test cases. In next session, we are going to cover a few advanced level options, like when I hit the service, we are going to get different outputs from there. That is one. And we are going to generate a mock service environment. Whenever I want to execute in a real-time environment or mock service environment, I can switch in between. That's all we have for this mock service session 1. Thanks for watching this video.